Alright guys, a quick announcement before I get started. I'm gonna be releasing a video every Saturday. Alright, so, we're gonna be coding a simple website. So, in the body, you don't have to worry about that right now. You don't have to worry about any of this, just don't delete it when this is in Replit. Just if you go to replit.com and just create a new account, if you don't have an account, create an account and create a new HTML, CSS, and JavaScript project. And when you're creating your account, it will ask you for preferred languages. Make sure you pick HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as one of them. But you're allowed to use other languages besides your preferred languages. It's just a little bit harder. And the other ones I picked were Python and Lua, but you don't have to pick those. You can pick any ones you want, really, I guess. You don't really have to pick HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but I think you should. Alright, so let's get started. So first, we're gonna add a header. So there are a bunch of different
I meant to say heading, but I don't know. I was just being an idiot and I forgot heading. So
like
yeah.
How big you want the font to be. So and we're not gonna pick header actually because I guess it isn't really a header. It's more of like I forget what the H stands for, but it's like whatever. It's like a title kind of, but title is a different thing, so don't pick title. But depending on how big it is, you pick the number. H1 is the biggest, H6 is the smallest, so when the number gets bigger, the font gets smaller. So generally for a title, if it's like the title of a page, you'll want to use H1. Now, I'm gonna say, welcome to this cool website. And I'm gonna do /H1. And now I'm gonna do and then after that, what I generally like to do is BR, which stands for break, so it adds a line break. And then I like to add an image in general. And images only need one tag. So, and what you can, if you have a thing saved onto your computer, if you're on Windows or Mac, I guess this works too, you can go into File Explorer and drag, and then drag.
I wasn't recording the whole computer screen. I was just recording this one tab. So, but I just went into File Explorer and grabbed a file called portal.png. JPEGs work too, but I just
go into cool website. You can drag that in, and then you can just type src, which stands for source equals, and then you can just type portal. I'm not .png, but another thing you can do, I'm gonna keep that because I think that will look, I like it. I don't know, it's like there's a little portal thing there, and I don't see why not adding it. But then another thing you can do is if you don't have it on your computer but you find a cool if you find a cool thing in images like this, and then view image, you can kind of just copy. If you just copy the URL, C, and then go into your file, you can type image src, and then you can type instead of instead of portal.png, you can just type the website URL. And then close the tag. Alright. And if you've ever coded in another language, like, I forget exactly what it's called, but if you ever coded in like another language like JavaScript or Python, which we'll eventually code some stuff in JavaScript, just not in this one. Today we're just gonna get down some HTML pages, but if you've ever coded anything in JavaScript, or Python, which is my main language, I know the most about Python, you'll know that in those languages, like, the formatting matters, and you have to know like when to indent, and you have to add, like, with this you can kind of just, with this you can kind of just, as long as you have the opening and closing tag, you can just like add. The formatting doesn't really matter at all, as long as you have like the correct, as long as you type the correct like characters, it'll work. And so far we have typing the correct characters. So now we'll be like so now let's add a paragraph, and first let's add a break, because breaks just add a line break, and I use a lot of breaks just because. And then I always like, sometimes I like to close, because the tag, when I type the tag, P is for paragraph, I like to close the tag when I type the tag, because it just makes, I like to close the tag when I type the tag, because it just, I won't forget that I didn't close the tag. And this portal.png thing, it's probably going to be pretty small, so I'm going to write width. You can actually control the width and height by typing width equals, and then you can type whatever you want the width equal, and then height equals, and it's measured in pixels. And 200 by 200 is a pretty good thing for squares, but you have to keep the resolution right. I'm just going to keep this how it was because it looked pretty good, but oh, and in general, if you're like, I'm not making any money off of this site, so it's okay, but this is just for like, and I'm probably never going to use this site again, but this, if you were to be making money off the site, you'll have to, these images, like, if you just get it off a website, it might be copyrighted, so you have to, if you're gonna be making money off of it, which I'm not, but if you are, if it's for commercial use, you will have to buy the image, instead of just, not buying, not buying the image, just using the URL and not buying the image. Alright, yeah. So, welcome, guy. Welcome, person. If you want to be cool, click here. It took a minute to load there. And then actually around, we're gonna add another tag, an A tag, which stands for anchor, and you use that to type the link, because link is used for something else. It's used for like linking to a style sheet, which we're not going to be using style sheets today, but we will be using style sheets in the next episode, probably. Yeah, I think I'm going to do style sheets next. And then I'm going to do script. Alright, so then click here, and then what you type is to tell it the website you want it to link to, because this works with any website. It's like the image one where you can also like just type in a random website, but for me, I'm just gonna type in href equals, and then I'm gonna do the same thing I did with portal.png, add a new file and call it be a cool kid. Now there's going to be a little bit of JavaScript actually. I know I said there wasn't going to be any JavaScript, but this is still an HTML file, but there's going to be some JavaScript in it because that can happen. No. And now you can make the, you can actually make the, if you type be a cool kid.html, great, and then we can type period, and then if we run the website, which is right there, and we click here and scroll to our left, you can open the full website up here, and if welcome person, if you want to be cool, click here, and it doesn't have anything on this part of the web page right now, but it will soon. And this is just a little preview. It actually, I generally click the big button to make it bigger because this is just kind of like, it works. The website works here. You can click it and it does the exact same thing, but it's just a little bit smaller. So I in general like a little bit of a bigger website. All right. So now, first we're gonna just copy the head, because the head is just gonna be exactly the same for now. And then we also have to just close this HTML file, HTML tag, sorry, and then we can type the body, because the head is just basic information. You're in general, you're not going to be typing very much stuff in the head. You're just going to be typing like some basic stuff, and yeah, you're just going to be typing some basic information about this specific web page, which web pages are part of a website. Welcome. Alright, so, and actually on that page we forgot to change something that's pretty important, so cool, we're gonna call it Cool Kid Headquarters. I spelled quarters wrong.
If you replace the D with a T, it would be spelled, so it's Q-U-A-R-T-E-R-S instead, so yeah, sorry.
So this is called, so now that changed this from, it used to say, you'll notice it used to say replit.it, now it says Cool Kid Headquarters, and this says, and eventually we'll learn how to get like a symbol up here, but not today because that's a little complicated. I mean, I guess not. Maybe you could just type. No, that wouldn't work. Yeah, it's not more complicated than that. All right, and so now let's go over to the. Oops, back. It automatically saves. Alright, so I'm gonna cut this thing out and find out where she is. No one knows. Alright, so now we're gonna go over here and go into vehicle.html. And we're gonna change the title from replit.it to let's become a cool kid. Alright. And then you can type a button tag. And I'm not the button. And then what you want to say is you can type click to be a cool kid. And we're gonna keep building on this and building on this. I'm just making the basic stuff today. So, and then you have to type equals button. And then I'm just gonna, I'll put a link in the description of what the thing. So now we need to copy the script tag. The script tag is a very important tag. And the script tag is actually a little bit of JavaScript, but it's okay. And what you do with the JavaScript, the type equals button is actually a pretty important thing, because in JavaScript, the JavaScript is document that get element by tag name button, and that type equals button is saying the tag name is button. Alright. And then sometimes there are lists, sometimes there are multiple things in a tag. Right now there's only one thing in a tag, but 0 is the first thing in a list. It's not 1 like you think, it's 0. So yeah, so it's just basically saying, that's basically just saying, if this button is clicked, set alert brings up a text box, and I'm gonna make it say you're a cool kid now. So you're a cool kid now! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And that's us. And now let's add, I'm not very good at organizing my my website /h1 and the code for the website, and then I'm gonna type welcome become a cool kid. Alright, and now that I've coded, now that we have that, all I'm gonna do now is add one more P to go back in. With this you can learn, this may not seem like, oh right, we're still in the script. We need to get out of the script because P tags don't work in JavaScript. Alright, oh yeah, script makes it JavaScript. P, then. And if you ever want to know, this is just for more information. We're not using this right now. We're probably mainly going to be using the style sheet, and not just, but you can just type style, if you type style and style /style, it makes it CSS in between the style tags, but alright. So P, and now we're just gonna, directly in P, we're just gonna add an A tag, and we're gonna type back to main page, period, and it will say href equals. I'm trying to keep this website fairly simple, but with this stuff I'm teaching you, you'll be able to code a fairly complicated website. I'm eventually gonna teach you more stuff later, and it's gonna become more and more complicated. But for now, index.html. And now, what that should do is, this is already becoming a very long video, so I'm gonna try to shorten it. Alright, so this is gonna be a very episode. We're gonna look at our website. So, Cool Kids website headquarters. Cool. Welcome to the Cool Kid website, and welcome person. If you want to be cool, click here, and click to be a cool kid, and you're a cool kid now. And back to my page. Alright, thank you for listening. It's been exactly 20 minutes, and see you next week. Alright guys, so I forgot to add something in the main recording, so I'm gonna add it here. So for our images, which we actually we don't have any images on this one, but we do have images in index. So in the images, I forgot to add something. So inside, you'll need to add these. You need to add another one of these called alt. This is for alt text and picture of portal, and then it is for blind people because they have, and it tells them what the picture is of. And I always like to add a picture of in front of it instead of just writing portal, because if you just write portal, it will just be like, it will read like, welcome to this cool new website portal, and it won't say picture portal, it will just say portal. And then I add alt, and then for this one, alt equals. I'm just gonna get rid of the width and height thing. There's not really for now, but alternative equals picture of sunglasses. Alright, cool. So long, and please subscribe.